فجونم يقرأ بشينا ثيتو التحرستو تفونويو حثتو بتحرس ديوما كي تعمينا وحوريدا يقرأ ديفيد ويليام لازر من أمريكا كيت شوولو أديوما قدرشينا لأعمي بوسكايبيو أعمينا بقامتو دمينا بشينو أثت ديفيد
باسيم عزيزي تودي
قد مشغولين بولا شون انجليشويو أديوما يتحرسو سيمينا لو بنجربنو بحاريتو بثر سيمينا كريوثو ترجمنا ومدد هاوي. Mr. David, welcome to our program to Assyria TV.
Thank you again.
Mr. David, you told me there are some persons, Assyrians and non-Assyrians in USA who have claimed to they are claiming that you are helping Hezbollah, that you are dangerous people for American interests, and many other. Can you tell us briefly what is the problem, what is the case?
Yes. Well, just to give you a little background, American Mesopotamian Organization was established in 2009. We started working in 2010, actually. We are registered as a political organization. Here, you don't need to be in politics. We are a non-profit, but not tax exempt, because a political organization cannot be a tax exempt. So we've been active, in American politics, promoting the Assyrian cause by, doing online petitions, meeting with members of Congress, Senate, and stuff like that. So, but in the last, since after the ISIS's invasion of northern Iraq, in particular, and the displacement of our people, then we became more actively involved. And we started meeting with, higher levels in the government and promoting the establishment of a province in the Nineveh Plain, and also exposing Kurdish or KRG atrocities against the Assyrians, be it land grab, illegal land grab, the attempt to withhold funds from our schools, or exposing the assassination of our leaders that happened throughout the years. So we took an approach, a confrontational approach with the KRG. Nobody else was doing it. So we decided that we must take these actions and expose the policies of the Kurds in northern Iraq. And also at the same time, we after the invasion of ISIS, we worked with people on the ground in Iraq to establish the Nineveh Plain Protection Units when nobody else came forward to help establish this force. And we called for international protection back in late June, early July of last year. And we started working for and establishing this force back in October of 2014. So apparently some people did not like what we were doing or the actions we were doing. I'm going to name names here and people that belong to certain organization. For example, Mr. Carlo Genja of the Assyrian Universal Alliance was interviewed on AMB SAT and did not refer to us by name, but sat down the whole interview and made fun of us. I myself and another member of the American Muslim Organization, Dr. Sargon Isa, we both live in the Valencia area in California. So he referred to us as people sitting in Valencia and trying to create an army. So we did establish that army that Mr. Genja was referring to. And we did do a fundraising, and we collected funds. We are an organization of 12 people that run this organization. It's not only me, and we have 3 lawyers, several doctors, several businessmen, and we know we have an accounting for every penny that we have collected and spent.
Let me just ask you something. Can I just ask you what you are doing collecting funds or establishing these militia groups and making this lobby work, is it against the American law?
No.
In some
First
way?
of all, we did not establish it. We supported the establishment.
Okay,
because
support.
the people on the ground that established it, which was the Syrian Democratic Movement, established the MPU, and credit has to be given to them. We acted in a support role and supported this action. Before we even collected a penny, we have a legal opinion from a lawyer, non-Assyrian lawyer that specializes in such activities, and the money was collected specifically to engage a contractor, a defense company, and at the same time to supply or send money for a camp, a training camp that was taking place in northern Iraq. The training camp belonged to the Kurds, and it was given to the MPU with a blessing of the American consulate. We even have a former Congressman Wolf, who had just retired in December of last year, to visit that camp when the training was going on, and came back and reported such activity to the U.S. government. We have connections with the U.S. government that we submitted, and they're strong enough that we submitted a budget on behalf of an MPU asking for monetary support and direct arming of the MPU. So there is no, we were not hiding anything. There is nothing illegal about this. All the money that was sent to northern Iraq was sent through federal wire, transferred through federal wire. But of course, these people, they cannot do things, they cannot accomplish things, and they will try to stop others from accomplishing things. When Mr. Genja, for example, refers to me, David Lazar, and Yunadam Kenna in an email to people as a cancer in the body of this nation, that's his personal opinion of me. I have no problem with it. But then he turns around and asks my organization and me to be associated with him in a coalition that he was trying for. I refuse to work with him.
Now
we refuse to work with him. That's hypocrisy.
Yeah.
So these people, and then another person you export to us from Sweden by the name of Nuri Kino. I had never met Mr. Kino in my life.
What has he done, Mr. Kino?
I had not known him personally. I'd seen his writing. In social media we exchanged messages a few times. I met Mr. Kino less than 2 minutes one time.
What has he done? Why do you mention him?
Nothing. He just hollow. He claimed victory, and then we told everybody this is a hollow, empty victory. Nothing was accomplished. He went and said that we put this wording in the bill in Congress that we will get money. We were happy to do that, but he was not telling the whole story, because appropriation is not done there. It has to be. There has to be instructions given for money to be spent. It doesn't matter what language goes into a bill. It will stop there. But he was not telling that story. And he has this Mr. Steve Oshana in Washington, D.C. that works for him. Mr. Steve Oshana has been promoting this idea also, and he's talked to people that are close to us. And we got the message also was delivered to us that the American Mesopotamian and the American government is not helping the MPU, because the American Mesopotamian Organization, AMO, and the Estonian now are helping the GPF, the Gozerto Protection Forces, and the Gozerto Protection Forces are aligned with the Syrian regime, Bashar al-Assad's regime, and the training was because they were trained by Hezbollah. And AMO is being investigated and stuff like that. So that's why. So this is also false information.
Just a moment. We need to, maybe we take it too fast. Do you know what about it? But our viewers, our public don't know what it's about. Few Assyrians have contacted the Ministry of Justice in US saying what, claiming what about you and GPF?
Yeah, what it's called here, it's not ministry, it's called the Department of Justice.
Okay.
They're claiming that we are supporting the GPF, the Gozarto Protection Forces, and that Gozarto Protection Forces are allied with this Bashar Assad's regime, and that they were trained by Hezbollah in the Agha Patros Academy. As you know, GPF, or the Gozarto Protection Forces, did not start with that name. They started with the name of Sotoro.
Yes.
And we actually, when we asked them to change the name to Gozarto Protection Forces, and at the same time, we suggested they use a similar logo as the MPU, and which they listened and did that, and we appreciate that very much. And then we checked, we know for a fact that the training was not done by Hezbollah. These are all lies, and these lies started by the Doronoye, they call now their name these days the MFS. They started these rumors, false rumors and lies about the Gozarto forces. And of course, Mr. Kino and his associate, Mr. Steve Oshana in Washington, D.C., are promoting now a Kurdish agenda, an agenda of the PKK and the YPG, against basically which they are. I don't care. I don't believe in a Kurdish democracy.
How can you accuse Nuri Kino of supporting a Kurdish agenda? What is your proof? Is it that Steve Oshana has spoken to the Department of Justice and told what you told us, or is
No, Mr. Oshana has made these statements in public in Chicago. He's made these statements in other places, in congressional offices. So all these statements are true. Not only not only. I don't know if Mr. Oshana went to the Department of Justice or Carlo Genja or another person by the name of Sergis Sangari, who is a retired lieutenant colonel. Mr. Sangari also, we don't know him. We had never met him. He was never involved in Assyrian politics. All of a sudden, he pops up, and then at a conference or a seminar held by the AUA in San Jose, he spoke for like an hour and a half. Maybe half an hour or more was spent trashing the AMO, Dr. Sargon Issa, myself. These people, so it could be either one, it could be one of these people complaining. That's fine. We have no issues with that. Let them complain. But we will also go to our nation, to our people, and state that these are the people that are causing problems. We are supporting the GPF because they are Assyrian, because they are fighting and protecting our nation in Syria. We are supporting the Khabur, guardians of Khabur and the guardians of Tel Tammar, because they are Assyrian and they have an Assyrian agenda. They don't have a Kurdish agenda. We will not support the Doronoye and the MFS because they have and work for a Kurdish agenda.
As to Nuri Kino, let us make clear with his role in this, what you are telling us, in what has happened over there in US. If Steve Oshana, his representative, the Demand for Action's representative in USA, making something, do you mean automatically it's Kino behind that, or he's in accordance with Steve Oshana, or what is your proof against Nuri Kino as person, as a founder of ADFA?
Well, as a founder and the executive president, I don't know what his title is, but he ultimately responsible for actions of Mr. Oshana, Steve Oshana in DC. When Mr. Steve Oshana makes these comments about the AMO and about me personally and AMO, Overall, that's more important about the AMO. Then Mr. Nurikino is responsible for his associate or his representative or his organization representative in Washington, D.C.
Okay, now he's not here in studio, so but hereby we announce that he's welcome to come and answer to these claimings or accusations,
Yes.
or what you shall call it. We hereby give them the opportunity later on. What happened
Yes.
then? Your lawyer, your attorney, did he contact, made any contacts, or did you go further with the case?
No, the only case, if there is a case, would be against this mercenary by the name of Matthew Van Dyke.
Well, who is this person? Just tell us who it
Matthew
is.
Van Dyke, Matthew Van Dyke is basically a businessman. I really do not. He's an American citizen. He's a businessman. So he gets involved and shows up in Iraq, and through unfortunately he meets some people in the MPU, and he begins to offers them a training program, and this is in the beginning, back in November or December. I had no idea who Mr. Van Dyke was.
But what has he done? He has written something in his site or his blog or something about you and the AMO and Restore Nineveh now and you personally. What has he written?
Yeah.
What has he said?
Well, he accused us of treason as U.S. citizens, myself and our director of operations, Jeff Gardner. Jeff Gardner is an American by birth. I'm an American by choice. I came here as an immigrant. And I've been living in this country for the last 35, 36 years. And I love this country, and I'm a citizen. I'll never do anything against this country. But unfortunately, Mr. Van Dyke, which I don't hold a grudge against him. He's a businessman. What happened there, we did not want to associate with him, and we put pressure on the ADM and the MPU to distance themselves from him.
What is the treason? What is the treason he is accusing you for? That you are jeopardizing American soldiers and their allies in Syria?
Yes, he's accusing us because it's the same old record that Mr. Sangeri and Mr. Steve Oshana and Mr. Carlo Genja are saying, same thing, is that we are supporting the GPF, the Assyrian Gozarto Protection Forces in Syria, and because the GPF, it's fighting and protecting our people and getting support from the Syrian regime militarily, then we are allied with a group or supporting group that is allied with Bashar al-Assad, and that because they're claiming that there are relationship, Hezbollah trained them, so automatically we are associated with Iran, and Iran is the enemy, and Hezbollah is a terrorist organization. So we are traitors, and we are illegally sending money there, and which we are not, by the way. We have not sent a penny to Syria.
To GPF? You have not sent anything or collecting fund to GPF?
We have not collected funds for GPF. What we have collected funds is for families of the injured and the assassin killed and the assassin, and we are trying, as a matter of fact, to also to a couple of them to get the medical treatment. So these are the funds. These are the funds that we're sending, and we're sending funds for. We send funds for humanitarian causes. At any rate, this is not their business. Not Mr. Carlo Genja, for example. Carlo Genja runs his Secretary of Americas for the AUA. AUA is the Secretary General of AUA. It's a member of the Iranian Parliament. So if I were Mr. Genja, I would stop making such accusations. If your house is made of glass, you don't throw stones at other people's homes.
Okay, so what is going to happen now from your side?
Well, we don't want to be really involved in legal matters, but it looks like they leave us no choice. At least for now, we have our lawyers looking into what actions we can take, because these are not just gossip or ghetto politics, Assyrian ghetto politics anymore. These are very serious accusations, and these people have spoken and to other people, and we will call, if we take legal action, we will drag these people into court and ask them under oath to show proof if they have any of such accusations. It's very easy to accuse anyone of anything. I mean, I can sit here, and I just did now, as a matter of fact, and I think, in my opinion, and I think this is my personal opinion, that Mr. Garlo Genja is promoting an Iranian agenda because he works for AUA, and AUA is headquartered, and they hold their Congress in Iran, in Tehran, and the Secretary General of AUA, Mr. Yonatan Butkulia, is a member of Iranian parliament. So in my opinion, AUA is promoting an Iranian agenda.
Okay.
It's the other way.
My last question, you as a person, as an Assyrian patriot, as a lobbyist, what do you think is those conflicts, how can they serve our cause, our national cause, if each one is going his own way, and we need unity? Everybody talks about unity those days. Those accusations from one side to another, how do you think those accusations are going to harm our Assyrian national cause in these critical days?
Well, first of all, I'm not a lobbyist. I'm an activist.
Activist, okay.
Yes, we have hired the AMO and the Restore Nineveh Now Foundation, and we have hired a lobbying firm. This is good news, and we've engaged them, and they will start working for us in DC in January of next year. Of course, such disunity will not help anyone. But I want to remind you, Brother Ogin, that we did not start this disunity. The disunity was there before. We have never attacked any other Assyrian organization, even though they're working with for a Kurdish agenda. We've never attacked the Doronoye before, or the MFS, but now we will, because they started attacking us through their people that they're working with here. So if anybody has a good idea for our nation, we have no problem with them. We will work with them as long as they are working for the Assyrian cause, an Assyrian agenda. But if they are working for a Kurdish agenda or an Iranian agenda, then from now on we will expose them. We will expose them when we confront them. Of course, these divisions, again, do not help anyone, but the divisions were there. The AMO or I did not create these divisions.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. David William Lazar. I hope we will have solved this in a positive way, in some way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Busrio Turok تيبي بكاريوثا دومونو إسبوثو منيو لنفر جنيدا لفا إنجليشون إنجليشويو وحوريدا دافيد ويليام لازار كومريشن وشوتوسود American Mesopotamian Organization مشاتاسي بترلفو تشاع وشاريلي بوفلحون هذا ترلفو حصار وبعين زبنو هادو محفيتو من ريستور نينوي ناو كتشوتوسو كمر أعدو بلزمي تاقيمو نينوي محاثو إسبوثو كولا بكاريوثو نوكيتو عليمة معاميدا وحاسته نخرويوش من ماثيو فان دايك مليش مونية ستيف وشانات كتيو أمدا برونو دوشوتو سد مركولة النوري كينو هانت كميلة ديماوند فور أكشن أمثلوني دي بأمريكا ستيف وشانا كت عليه موشمي سركيس سنغاري هانوستي تايمان وبيعسكر دأمريكا عسريشني عدو من شوت بويو كت حا أمدا برونو دي AUA دوحيو دو تيبلو ثرويو كارلو غانجا بأمريكا أتلو ثاني فريشايث كومر هجمي غلبة علينا عدوشو توسيدا ومشكلة لشلطة وثو دامريكا وكمي هاني كمعوني أشو توسي أو أميليشيات تكتني مقابل دامريكا حذو منايا جي بي اف حيلاوثو لأنه طوري جوزرتو ومغلى بقامته على حيلاوثو ان بي يو نينوي بلين بروتكشن يونيونز هاني دوزا وعود مركويلة كم رحنا كم عونينا نغلب دوزا وعود نوجح بميدانو هاني ومدد كتهمي وشو توسو ديفيد وحوريدي جيف جاردنر كمي هاني خاينة وما خنة و تريمو ثونوي أمريكوية أنا جيف جاردنر وديفيد كما خنة أما صالح أهنيوني أمريكوية تكتني بسوريا وتكتني بعراق على ثاني كوفلحي عمقابة عمو رجيم سوريا وتكتيو انديركت وحزب الله استعمى وهاني كتوه من سيكم مدارش ليلو حزب الله هاني جي بي اف كم راثي دوغلو ربطويو وبثر كوذوكرش مدنوري كينو كومر هي مسؤوليو مشالو علومة دي كومر ومثلو نايدي ستيف وشانا دلومينا لي بدومر ميدي موخا هي استيانو مشالو علي اسبو ثاثي كتلي حطيثو كومر هاني كعودي عمام مصالح كردوية ودروعو ياريخو ضد دورونوية كم هالخي بوليتيكا ضد دورونوية دلك رحمي عامانو سوين في الحونو مثونويو تكتيو الأروى المطارو دكردوية إذا برزاني ولا ديباكاكا علوشو ولانو مقيلة نوري كتلة أركي مركي كمينا لي بثر متكومر لي ميدانو كثيو يشتغليات بحقدي ذي كوبينا لي وعدو هركي مستوديو دربو أوثي ودمدافع عن روحي إنا قد روحهم بحارتو سمشالي و يفليغو ثاثة يعني مقاك معونو يسبو أديما يسبو ثيدا بدكثة حساسي غالبي وفلحونو وياي كانوا يثدو عميدا بقنطو رابو ومقاكو يفليغو ثاثة كو محرو زدقو ميناكم أكيد كمحرو بس لو احنا سملان يفليغو ثاثة يفليغو ثتام هو واحنا بس مدافعين عن روحينا دفاع عن نفس قد كمي بو عربويو مسترونوثو دي نفشيو ها هنو بكريوثو كومرستي بلكي زانو لسني غرولو أدفوكات أيضا وزان بودر بقولونو طربين حشو منو شاني تكو تهميلان تهمة تخليه كميلان خاين دامريكا وكميلان كو بنزوزي للجي بي اف لاتكوثي احنا لولا نزوزي الجي بي اف وهولان لا يقرو ثثي ولا مجرحي ودرموني ميدوني ماني واتهمة ثثي كل خليني هو خايو يسبوثو وميدتكم مروحو ريدا ديفيد ويليام لازر تودي ساقي ديفيد
تودي ساقي